everyone. Welcome to Campus Conversations. I'm Oscar Loynaz, your host for this amazing podcast all about Padrón Campus. And specifically, today we have a new segment that we're calling Reverse the Mic. So I'm going to introduce you in a minute to what will soon be the host for today's podcast. But first of all, JC, Juan Carlos Morales, most commonly known as JC among people at Padrón Campus. Tell us a little bit about yourself. When did you come to Padrón? What did you do here? Why can't we get rid of you? Like, tell us a little bit.
Thank you. It's the remix, everybody. So next year will mark my 20th year at Padrón. I actually counted how many semesters I've been teaching. I'm at 39. I am a world language professor. I teach Japanese, German, and English for academic purposes.
All here on this campus.
All here on this campus.
Wonderful.
Yes. And for almost my whole time that I've been teaching at Miami-Dade, I've always been here.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. About how many students would you say you have? Because German and Japanese are not necessarily common languages that people want to learn, right?
So my Japanese students, if you can imagine, Japanese culture is everywhere in Miami, between cosplay, anime conventions. My students love dressing up. So that's a very natural kind of language that really attracts a lot of students. German is a little bit more challenging to attract students. I think very often it's students who are looking to study abroad, to spend some time abroad, to just travel and learn a little bit of language. So those are really the two most fun languages that I get to teach. So
That's
I really
amazing.
enjoy that.
That's amazing.
So we get to change things up today, and I get to ask you some questions, apparently.
I guess we do. I guess we do.
So my first question for you is, have you ever found yourself somewhere and found you that you were unable to communicate with the people that were around you?
Yes.
Where was this?
Well, aside from at work almost on a daily basis, I would say one of my first experience, not first, but memorable experience was I was in Prague and I was trying to get to my room. And the lady told me, the receptionist told me to go down the hall and left, or so I thought. I kept going into her office, which she was not happy about. Then I ended up going into a courtyard. I just couldn't find my way. And it ended up being that she was saying lift, not left. So I was supposed to take the elevator. She was speaking to me in English, even though it was in Prague.
Yeah.
But even in English, I couldn't understand, right? Because there are different things, different ways that people express themselves in different countries.
Absolutely.
So that was an interesting experience that it was frustrating, but it made me laugh a lot. And look, I'm telling the story now.
Speaking of laughing a lot, my first experience in Japan, names get transliterated. And I wanted to know what's my name in Japanese. And so they said, well, your name in English is Juan. So in Spanish is Juan. So we translate it as Fuan. And so everybody would call me Fuan-san. Little did I know that Fuan means anxiety. So everyone was calling me Mr. Anxiety. And I was going around and everyone was calling me Mr. Anxiety. When I found out that my name was Mr. Anxiety, I said, let's change that. And I said, my name is now Huang. And that's how I got around it. I think when we live in Miami, it's such a bilingual world. I think that's one of the reasons probably that you and I both love living here, is that we get to navigate through two cultures, through two languages all the time. And I think one of the things that I really value about being able to bring a third language to students is being able to open up the world to them, right? So I know so many of my students speak English and Spanish, but being able to take a look at Japanese or at German is something that to them really opens up their world.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what would Dr. Loynaz's next language be? What would you be interested in learning?
You know, I wanted to learn French because for the first time, I went to Canada, but I went to Montreal. And so, of course, I speak French in Montreal.
Absolutely.
And I was really frustrated about not being able to communicate effectively. And then, of course, going to France after that, which I've been a couple of times, has also inspired me. It's been challenging, though, because when you try to learn another language, it takes more than just the desire and the motivation.
Absolutely.
And also the instructor is very important, because if you have someone that is rushing through the subject or is not taking the time to understand how you might be challenged, it can be frustrating. So I actually stopped the class. I dropped out after a little bit, which I'm really kind of sad about.
When I did some teacher training in the past, and when I talked to teachers, I wanted them to feel like they're students. And being in a language classroom is the utmost in vulnerability. And so I would say to the teachers, I would ask them a question and I would say, I want you to sing your answer to the person next to you. And I would get one of three reactions. The first one was, I'm going to sing my answer. The second one was, I'm going to sing very quietly. And the third one was, absolutely not. And in doing so, I was trying to remind people what a challenge it is to learn something new, how challenging it is to be vulnerable. And I always keep that in mind in my classes when I'm talking to my students, that they are there and they are taking chances. But you're absolutely right that you have to be that person that's willing to take a shot,
Yeah.
willing to try things out, make mistakes. And I think the students that learn the best are those who make mistakes. Yeah,
And it's important if you are the instructor that you create that atmosphere
absolutely.
where people feel that it's safe to do that.
Yes.
Because if not, if it's very structured and very, traditional classroom style, people may be taken aback and may be shy to do so.
That might be why my students enjoy my classes.
It could
Yeah,
be.
it could be. I think we have a really good time. We
Is
laugh
this
a
like a
lot.
recruitment time?
It could be. Anybody who wants to learn German or Japanese next semester, I think one of the things that my students really enjoy is the fact that uh, there's a lot of laughter, but the laughter is with each other, not at each other.
Yeah.
And I think that that is what makes people really feel comfortable in trying to take those next steps to learn things. Alors, c'est le français pour vous. It's going to be French for you next.
Thank you for translating.
Of course.
What on God's earth is he saying?
I know that look. I know that look. Absolutely. Well, I really appreciate you having me and getting to know me and getting to talk to everybody today. I am really looking forward to my 20th year at Padrón.
We are too. We are
And
too.
I'm so glad that you can't get rid of me.
Well, and thank you so much for joining us on our first Reverse the Mic episode. This will be happening periodically when we have willing participants. And so looking forward to having you join us in the future. Thank you so much for being here today. We
Pleasure
appreciate
being
it.
here.
And have a great one, everybody.